Well, it seems like nobody has watched my other two videos, but that doesn't matter right now. Hello, viewers. I'm Brawlers, and that's what I call myself. I'm just another individual in this world that has a dream of being a DJ to perform in front of a crowd one day, and in the near future to actually produce. I've produced a few things here and there, but it's just extremely low. Just me doing a hobby of just me making music with Studio One 4 and hopefully soon Ableton. I have a passion for electronic dance music. As of this case, as of the day, as I'm recording, it is 4/20/2019. A year ago, the electronic dance music got hit with one of the most unfortunate news that to this day, and I think forevermore, we will always have this hole in our hearts for the electronic dance music universe, which was the death of Avicii. His real name was Tim Berglund. I remember I did a video of my reaction of right at the moment when Avicii died. Honestly, I thought it was some type of late April Fool's joke. I was hearing rumors of the news media mentioning of that, articles here and there. I don't really go that deep into social media, but I've kind of been going into it a little more here and there. That's another topic for another day, which could be dangerous. Then this news broadcast, which was really legitimate, these were the real deals. And the tone of this broadcaster that Avicii died, it just hit me big time. I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it at the time, and I still can't believe that he is gone. But it is unfortunate that with everyone that comes around within the universe of this planet, we could end up leaving in sometimes unfortunate ways, some more than others, and in surprising turns. I told myself I wanted to watch his documentary, which was True Stories. It came out on the 17th of October, I believe it was in 2017 or 18, if I remember correctly. I'm going to check it out very quickly right now. But as I'm researching it right now, this was a documentary that even Laidback Luke, another DJ that I have my massive respects of, he mentioned to strongly watch this carefully and to reflect of the struggles and the victories and the defeats and the slight blooms of life that Avicii went through within his years of being a producer and a DJ. So as I watched the True Stories documentary, which, yes, it did come out in 2017. I thought it came out in 2018, but moving off of that, the chapters that he broke down within the documentary was very interesting. He didn't really give a specific title, but there were 3 chapters in total, which I would like to discuss. The first chapter, I would like to call it The Rise of Avicii, him just rising up, or just in short terms, rise. He started producing music around his late teens, 17, 18, just messing around, having fun, and never have I known how much he was a hard worker and how he was passionate just to create music for fun. I even heard that with Laidback Luke, one of his vlogs that he mentioned with Avicii's passing, he was someone that really stood out from the individuals that would send Laidback Luke demos literally 10, 11, 12 years ago. And there was a demo Laidback Luke liked from Avicii. He really liked it, and he was saying if you can give out more. And he started going not only 1, not 2, but 3, 4, 5 demos a week, which that is insane. That is almost working around the clock. And lo and behold, I know that Avicii must have had a part-time or full-time job during that time as he was making music, and he had help with some of his best mates, which was one of his biggest upsides of him not going completely insane. And it's amazing how the other DJs, they started to give really good feedback of his work. David Guetta, Tiesto, and it's it still hits me as I was watching the documentary of how he was getting up there, making songs, making demos, making remixes from other artists, getting inspired, but then he decided to find his own sound, which that's what every artist and producer wants to do, to be someone, to be unique from the rest of the DJs. And then maybe if we have a collaboration, for example, if Slushy wants to do some type of collaboration with, say, Zed, for example, you would have his sounds and Zed sounds to be matched together to see what creation they can make for everyone to hear. But the way that he started to create levels, which that took on the dance scene unlike any other. And then another hit that he created was Wake Me Up. Lastly, he ended up creating some very, very recognized songs under his name. And he was able to go around so many destinations where he never thought he was able to do. Countries he never imagined that he would go. His comrades and him during the startup, this was when he was 18, 19, they did a funny contract with crayons, I heard, mentioning if we ever go big, we're going to have a home in Los Angeles and we're going to make music together. And I would say it did happen in a manner, because with those songs and with the demand of him going to festivals, going to clubs, going to events, it just hit him like a giant wave. I would say that he was thrown into the scene big time. There was something within the documentary of just the vocal for Levels alone. Someone, like his manager, was demanding of more than 500,000 euros, something along those lines, which was a plethora amount of money. Booking it for Universal Records, for other types of music labeled records, to have it secured and to make money off of. He would go to Ultra to perform on the main stage in 2012, which I didn't even think that he was a performer in 2012. Just this young adult, this adolescent that was, I think, barely turning 21 at the time to be called an official adult here in the United States, because he's from Sweden. He was really getting that giant taste of what it could be like to be famous, what it could be like to be well recognized for making these incredible hits. That he got a Grammy Award for Levels and Wake Me Up and songs along those lines. One thing I did catch, though, that I didn't know, he smoked, which that alone was, from my point of view, which is not the best thing to do. He would drink a fair amount before he would play, and in my opinion, that is pretty dangerous. He actually was saying within the documentary, he would drink to ease off the nerves before he would perform. He would get very, very stressed, nervous, have these anxiety waves within his systems before he would go on. There were times where he was trying to tweak the simplest of the songs that what seemed like this could be easy to do, but within his mind, he was an incredible creator. There was an artist that even called him that he almost had the mind of Bach. Never have I thought that he would actually say that for Avicii. For him, he started to get very, very ill. He had a pancreas attack, I would say at least twice, and he was given these medications that if no one saw the documentary, this would widen your eyes. He was given over 15 prescriptions just to get him with these type of pains to go away temporarily. What's very interesting, though, he said that for 1 month the pain would be here, for another time it would be 4 months, for another time it could be for a very, very brief period. So he never knew what he was battling in his systems. Maybe it could have been within the drinking that he had. Maybe it could have been with the smoking. That's a very dangerous thing when it comes to the electronic dance music scene. And it's something that I want to personally do my absolute best and not to get into any of that type of stuff. Because even without the education that I was brought up with, those type of things can lead you to a downfall, and it can ruin your systems, it can ruin your mind, and it can ruin your personal life and those around you technically. And the main thing, I don't want to ruin my body because my body's still going through other stuff. And with chapter 2, I would say, which what I was explaining a little bit in the video earlier, his falls. Avicii always saw himself as a creator and a producer. As he was doing these type of shows more and more and more, the less he enjoyed doing this. There was at a point where he was performing Ultra. I think it was in 2015. It must have been that year, because I remember in 2014 he was sick. He went to a hospital in his home country. deadmau5 took his place in the Ultra Music Festival, which, fun fact, deadmau5 performed twice in 2014, which then the meme of the Old MacDonald Martin Garrix drop was created within deadmau5, which that was known. Now going back to Avicii within the fall of him, he openly admitted in a documentary, I saw these thousands upon thousands of people screaming my name. They were happy, they were jumping for joy. And the more I saw that, the less and less I enjoyed that. It's very, very strange though, because there was another artist. He looked like an R&B individual that he would do music for. He mentions that when you're on the decks, when you are doing your music, whether it's live, DJ performing, whatever the case may be, we're kind of like gods in a way. And your crowd having a good time, screaming your name, chanting along, singing your songs, that is like our reward. And it's something that when young DJs come up and at it, we don't really see that yet. And including myself, because I was wanting to perform this year, but unfortunately some stuff didn't come to fruition, and the results, I was unfortunately unable to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to have this type of experience to know if this is something I really want to pursue, as not only what some people may say, is this actually a job, but a career that one can enjoy. And lo and behold, it's not going to be only you, but to have an entire team backing you up, hopefully to be there in the performance scenes and in your personal life, which I ended up seeing with Avicii's mates. He and the others, they were of the norm to smoke a lot and to drink. And going back to that, there was a DJ I just found out a couple of months ago, Excision. No, I didn't. This fact I found out about Excision. I knew who he was, thankfully, at the beginning of 2018. Yeah, I'm kind of late with the dubstep scene. That's another topic for another video. I'm talking about Excision. He doesn't drink. I don't think he smokes. From what I know, he says that he doesn't drink, and that is a huge lifestyle and a challenge for a lot of people, especially when you go to these clubs when the norm is you got to get wasted, you got to go all out, you got to live like if you're going to die right after they finish the last song. And that's something I don't really believe in. I just go for supporting the artist, supporting the DJ, the creations that they did, the mixes that they can do, and to have a good time, and hope that once it's all over, I can do it again and again and again. Now, getting off topic from Avicii's True Stroies documentary. He was battling these illnesses, and he really, really, really wanted to cancel as many gigs as possible, because just him thinking about it, it was stressing him out like there was no tomorrow. And around 2016, that's when he decided, I'm gonna retire from touring, just like what Hardwell did after he heard the news of Avicii. But he still had his other areas where he was supposed to perform. And at one point in the documentary, he canceled 10 Las Vegas shows. That's a lot of money with his brand that he lost. And yes, when you make these hit after hits after hits after hits and they become extremely well known, it's difficult for one to go in there again and make another hit that is going to be just as good as the ones you did before, if not even better, which was somewhat of what David Guetta said in the documentary. And that was the pressure that Avicii was under. Never alone that he thought that he would get these songs to be extremely popular, to be one of the founding songs of electronic dance music itself, just like some other producers, artists, DJs, performers, that they have their own signature songs. Because when people think of Avicii, right off the bat, they would say songs like Levels, Wake Me Up, Waiting for Love, Without You, Hey Brother. Those songs, they're the signature of that producer, that artist, or that DJ. And that was with Chapter 2, as he just started to slash out these shows one by one by one by one. And then with the very, very, very last show, he decided, I'm going to go there late. I'm just going to do my thing. And it's going to be my last show. I'm going to stop there. So Chapter 3, I just gave it 3 question marks. Because this is what I was really hoping for with this documentary. And I wished I saw this earlier than his day that he died, which was a year ago as the time of recording this. He was doing his 3rd album, and he left almost all of his management to help him out with the tours, with the gigs, with him being out there performing. From my personal seeing of the documentary, it was an eye-opener, indicating that if young DJs really want to do something in the scene, and if you're in your 20s, it's understandable that we, as young adolescents, young adults, we don't know the entire thing of this fame. Now, what you're going to do with it when you're still maybe a year in, 2 years in, and how you're going to stay relevant and this and that without the proper backup. Now, you never know who could be out there looking out for you, either the correct way or in the way that they want you to be out there to make more money, to be an even bigger name than some of these DJs that I have mentioned in the past or have seen in the past. This goes for everyone, including the top dogs that are known in the electronic dance music scene, which goes for Tiesto, Hardwell, I was going to say Avicii, but unfortunately he's gone. May he rest in peace. Martin Garrix, Zed, which by far he is my number one inspiration of me going into this scene, which I'll do in another video. I could go on and on and on with these huge names like Armin van Buuren, Swedish House Mafia, that I've heard that they're coming back. I cannot wait for them to perform in Ultra Europe for 2019. To even the underground DJs that are barely coming up and at it. Maybe they're going to be that opener for a giant DJ that has been in the scene for multiple years. And these folks are kind of young. Some of them are. It goes to this known that our health is extremely important, because the last thing you want is to have yourself inside a hospital bed knowing that you can't do anything, and you have a giant audience that expects you to perform in 48 hours, which that was what Avicii went through. And he was struggling to decide which drugs to take, which ones not to take. And there was at a point where he was prescribed to heroin, which that is fucking insane. Never have I thought that a doctor would actually tell him that we are recommending you heroin to battle the pain, and that is just absolutely crazy. Now with the question marks, I was really hoping that he would still be alive to complete his third album. The last I ended up hearing of his whereabouts was from Tiesto, when everybody was saying their piece, saying their last thoughts, and they wishing that they can speak to Avicii once more. Tiesto was gonna have lunch with Avicii maybe a month or 2 weeks before Ultra 2018 was to come on the scene in Miami, and Avicii was debating to come on down into Ultra Miami to see the reunion of Swedish House Mafia. Only to know and behold that he was very sick. It could have been the stuff that he got him exposed to with the medications, him drinking, him smoking. That could have been the result of his death, which was unfortunate. Maybe his anxiety attacks, his stress levels was just way too high, and he was working on himself to become better. What I was seeing in the documentary, he stayed in Malibu. He was doing these workout sessions. He was just producing. He went on around the country of the USA to perform in these areas where only people would dream of performing. It was sad because me seeing this, I felt like he didn't die. And that's the beautiful thing of the electronic dance music universe, that even if these producers, these DJs, these artists, if they do go, hopefully they will go at a very old age to tell their legacies, to live as long as their musics can live, or even more than that, for their pieces that they've created for us listeners, for future generations to come, and for that individual to say, you know what, I want to try making music and see what could happen, because I want to do something that I enjoy. That's what the main thing was for practically everyone that has gone into the creating of the musics, whether it can be rock, metal, hip-hop, R&B, electronic dance music, whatever the case may be. Because as of right now, Coachella is going on for its day 2 as of me recording, and I do want to watch the stream a little bit. All these different categories of music, they are in this giant festival, and it's just a beautiful thing to experience, and it's one to at least get out there once in your life. For Avicii, though, it's unfortunate that he was carried on at a young age of 28. I personally know someone who is at the exact same age, and he's about to graduate the university that I'm going to graduate in a month's time. In a month's time, I'm going to be graduating and see where life would take me. I do want to give this hobby a try. Even if it's me performing for 5 people, I really wanted to know if this is something that myself or anybody else that has this dream can say, I want to do this and I want to continue moving forward. Well, that's about what I want to say. I've been rambling for now 23 minutes and 30 seconds. My final words for Avicii: may he rest in peace, because I will never ever forget. He was doing some type of song. He finished it, and I commented on YouTube, and it almost brings me to tears, me saying this, because he actually replied to me, to a comment on YouTube, which I never thought that would be possible. And I honestly do hope it was from him. Maybe it could be from his management. Maybe it could be one of his comrades that decided to do a comment, because I saw a few comments that he was replying, not to everyone, but to some here and there. And I replied back and telling him, congrats on the new song. I hope I can hear more from you in the future, and thank you so much. It meant a lot to me. And to know that he's gone it still makes me sad. And I was waking up with a sad mood today. And we will always remember Avicii for his legacy, for his one and only mind to be a music producer, to be an artist unlike any other. From the underground DJs to the big dogs, and even those that are wanting to do something with music in the future, Avicii, we will all miss you. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for listening. And with that being said, as I pass on the 25-minute mark, rave on, stay safe, and keep on listening.